Kentucky. Come on. Spent 25 years there almost.
Well, when Daniel gets back in there, Rabbi, I'll tell you about the mess floor.
The what?
Underneath the candles on the floor. That's Daniel. That's why I was teasing you.
Gotcha. Okay.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Wow, look. The masses have arrived. Good to see you all.
It's good to be seen.
That's always a good comeback for sure.
Oh, yeah. That's female. That's not female. It's hardwired genetically. You just don't, you don't even have to try it. It's there. See what you did, Jay?
That's just so we don't sit on it. Hey, Jeff. How you guys doing? Have we shopped yet? What? Have you shopped yet? Tommy Bahama shop? I heard you're gonna get a hat.
Yeah, Tommy Bahama
Tommy
shop.
Bahama hats?
They called today to get my, to square away my email. I might get it in the mail, I might get it by email. Yeah.
That's cool. I like it. It's fun. Okay, so where am I?
doodah, that contraption?
That
Yeah.
contraption.
So,
You
Is that a new
press
one?
it
Yeah, you press
first,
it first and then,
we light it first.
oh, wait.
Wait.
You got it on the first try.
Alright, actually the second, but yeah. Should I light?
We rise as if you can, if we rise if possible to like our.
When I try to light,
Should I go ahead?
go ahead. My depth perception,
Oh.
I can see the way. I can do it once it's on, but I can never get it out.
Okay, now that contraption. Alright.
Very nice. All right. Well, thank you. That was a nice way to start. So we're going to begin, as we always do, I guess, on page 5. And I don't know what y'all have been doing the last few weeks. You started on page 56 at LAU. Well, you know, it's not so bad to change it. It's not so bad to change it up. I can do that if you'd like. Wouldn't bother me. I can go. Well, what are you here for? Are you here to not have a service, or are you here to have some service? Okay, all right. You know, I mean, I'm happy to oblige. It was for socialization. Well, that too, but you know, you got to sing for your social. I guess that's part of it. Page 5. Why don't we do at least a little bit of a service? How's that? And if at any point you want to say, no, I don't want to do service, go around and go home, I will listen. Oh, where you go to? Okay. I'm so happy. Yeah, not yet. There's no dining room yet. It's all filled with bad basement stuff. Yeah, they're still working. Don't get me started. Page 5. You will find. Let's just put it this way. I left my house yesterday to avoid the zzz, and I came here only to find zzz, even louder. And they were doing that this afternoon. I almost left earlier, but he stopped. So, and then for all of you kitchen people, he had unplugged the freezer. So you know what happens when you unplug the, no, just for a few minutes, but you know what happens when you unplug the freezer and you plug it back in? So the guy's like, what do we do? Because I came out of my office and it's right in front of my door. I'm like, I think you hold this button for 5 minutes here and then it'll stop. And he's like, wow, you did it. I'm so happy it was going to go off. He was so relieved. He can fix an entire kitchen, but turning off an alarm on that's a different story. You need a rabbinic degree for that. So page 5, you will find Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharein, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitzchem L'Shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We turn over to the beginning of the Kabbalat Shabbat service formal with our Psalms over on page 11, you will find. Did it fall off? I knew it was somewhere. But I haven't seen it in a few weeks, so did it fall off or did it Or did it just go away in the last couple of weeks? So thank you. Thank you. So page 11. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, ladonai, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, ladonai. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, nekadma fana bitoda. Naria, naria, litzur yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, ladonai. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, ladonai. We turn to page 14 by the arrow where you will find Yismechu Hashamayim as we celebrate together. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, umelo, oh, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, umelo, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. We turn over to page 20, where you will find the last words of Psalm 99, Romimu Adonai Eloheinu. We lift ourselves up towards God. We join together. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. That brings us to page 21, where you will find the 29th Psalm as we seek to hear God's voice in the world around us. If you're able to, as always, I'll ask you to rise as we join together. Page 21. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'os, havu l'Adonai kevod shmo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai ol hamayim, El hakavod hirim Adonai Mayim rabim Kol Adonai b'koach Kol Adonai behadar Kol Adonai shover arazim Vayishaber Adonai et arze halavanon, Vayarkidem kemo egel, Levanon v'Siryon kemo ven, כמו בן רעמים. קול אדוני חוצף להבות אש, קול אדוני יכיל מדבר, יכיל אדוני מדבר קדש. קול אדוני יחולל איילות, ויחשוף יערות, ובהיכלו כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני למה בו ישב, וישב אדוני מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום. You are welcome to be seated. If you don't turn the page, if you look over on the left side of the page, again, we talk about the voice of God. This is actually a source that was adapted by a modern rabbi, but comes from Yaakov Koppel of Lifshitz of Meritzik. And he's, as you can tell probably from the name, a European rabbi. Let's read together under the Hebrew and the English. I'll read the Hebrew if you're willing to read the English on the left side of the page responsively. Kol Adonai al hamayim. The voice of God opens the gates of compassion and love. Kol Adonai bakoach. The voice of God opens the gates of courage. Kol Adonai behadar. The voice of God opens the gates of shining truth. Kol Adonai shover arazim. The voice of God opens the gates of endurance and patience. Kol Adonai chotzev lavot esh. The voice of God opens the gates of splendorous beauty. Kol Adonai yachil midbar. The voice of God opens the gates of deepest connection. Kol Adonai yacholel ayalot. The voice of God opens the gates of presence. Amen. Just an interesting way to think about what that psalm is actually telling us and asking us to do in the world. So page 23, you will find Lecha Dodi, our hymn that welcomes in Shabbat, the Shabbat bride or queen, into our midst. As we have been, for those of you who are the traditionalists in the group, I'll keep going with the usual melody, despite the fact we should change it up at some point. The first two verses, we'll do the middle verse on page 24, and the last two verses on page 25. I have no clue what anyone's been singing the last couple of weeks, so an oldie but a goodie. Page 23. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Hishmiyanu el hamyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha ki mekor haberacha mehirosh mikedem nesucha sof maaseh b'machshavat chila. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Middle of 24. Hitoreri Kiva ore kumi ori uri uri shirda beri kivod Adonai alayich nigla lecha lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. Middle of 25. Yaminu semol tifrotzi v'et Adonai ta'aritzi al yadish ben partzi v'nismecha v'nagila lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala. We rise and face the back. Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela bohi v'shalom ateret bala gam b'simcha uvetzala toch emunei am sigula bohi chala lecha dodi lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela lecha dodi likrat kala penei Shabbat nekabela. You are welcome to be seated. Page 27, we join together the Psalm for Shabbat. Mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat, tov lehodot la'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, lehagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatcha balelot, alei hasor v'alei navel, alei gayon b'chinor, mizmor shir leyom ha-Shabbat, tov lehodot la'Adonai, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon, ulezamer l'shimcha elyon. Kisimach tanya v'olach ha'maseidecha Page 28, by the arrow. Sadikatamar yifrach keheres balevanon yiskeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu od yenuvun b'seva teshenim verananim yihu lehagid ki ashar Adonai Tsuri velo avlatavo. Page 29. Adonai malakut lavesh Adonai ositazar avtikon tevel bal timod. Nachon kisacha ve'as me'alamatzad. Adir b'Adonai edo techonenu me'od lehavecha na'ava kodesh Adonai leorech yamim. Those reciting Kaddish Tome are Mourner's Kaddish, the first of our two Mourner's Kaddishes. You'll find it over on page 30. All those reciting, you're welcome to rise and join with me. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala ubizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam elomei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal, Shemei dekudasha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yalma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. You are welcome to be seated. So, little word of Torah before we go into the evening service and welcome in formally Shabbat and our new day together. Anybody out there a MASH fan? Oh yeah, how can you not be, right? Yeah. Yeah, well, being the medical profession, definitely, Ruth must be a MASH fan. So that was one of the things, Jeffrey and I, we had some extra time to sit and watch TV during vacation. We're like, maybe we should just like binge MASH again, right? So it was a lot of fun. Well, a while back there was an episode, that I didn't see this one while we were doing a little binging, but this is one of my favorite episodes of MASH. And you know, it's of course, it has to be if it's a rabbi's favorite. It's about Father Mulcahy, right? The priest, right? Is there anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about in MASH? Okay, two of them. I figured it was the two youngest in the room. All right. Well, it's a drama sometimes, but it's a comedy really set in the stage of the Korean War, right? And it's got an amazing cast of characters, and one of the characters is Father Mulcahy, who is a nerdy priest, if you will, right? A Catholic priest. And he's sitting at the bedside of a young wounded soldier. And the soldier, of course, is rather upset. And he's saying that he cannot go back to the front and rejoin the fighting because he's afraid of his responsibilities as a soldier. And Father Mulcahy's a little puzzled, and he asks the young man, why is it that you can't return to your unit? And the soldier answered, well, you see, Father, when I was sitting in the foxhole being fired upon, I made a promise to God. I promised that if I survived this attack, I would become a priest. The problem is, Father, the young man continued meekly, I don't really want to be a priest. But how can I not fulfill my vow to God? Well, Father Mulcahy, if you know the character again, as he always does, he very wisely answers, son, if everyone in a foxhole who made that vow to God actually fulfilled it, there would be a population explosion of priests. I think God would understand if you did not fulfill this difficult promise. It's an interesting scene, right? It's very thought-provoking, this exchange between this young soldier and this young priest, in essence, he was. And it's actually a conversation that could have taken place generations ago, perhaps a conversation that might have even tied in directly to the opening words of the combined Torah reading that we're studying this week, which is Matot and Maseh. And let me set the scene for you. Moses is speaking to the heads of the Israelite tribes, and he declares the following. He says, if a person makes a vow to God, right, to Adonai, or takes an oath imposing an obligation upon himself, that person shall not break his pledge, but must carry out all that he has said. Pretty specific, right? You make a pledge. You say, if I make it out of here, I'm going to be a priest. Then what should you be doing? You be a priest. That's what it sounds like from the shot of the text, from the simple meaning and understanding of the text. And in the Torah, in our tradition, the message for us, of course, taken in a broader fashion, is that words are taken very seriously. And one's word is binding. If a person makes a promise, right, undertakes to do or not to do something, then we must keep that vow. That's the import of the general understanding of the Torah lesson from today. But at the same time, like this young man in the story, we know what's the easiest thing in the world? It's to make a promise and then do what? Well, it somehow gets broken, even with the best intentions of keeping it, and with fulfilling the undertakings of whatever it is we promised. We often find out that it's much harder than we might have thought. And what happens if at some time later we come to regret a vow or an oath that we make? There's the question from the Torah. Well, here it's so specific. What happens if we regret it, like the man in the story, the young boy, the young man, or we make a vow or an oath and we know that we just can't do it? Now, when I made it, following the line of Father Mulcahy and the soldier, I had no real earthly idea how it might impact my life. And perhaps like this young soldier, he meant what he said at the time, but in the heat of the moment, it made sense, but certainly afterwards, not so much. So what do you do? What do you do? Well, you can ignore the vow, right? You could certainly say, right? Pretend the words I didn't really say that. Often the easiest thing to do is, well, I wasn't really serious. I was just joking, right? I didn't really mean it. I just, I said it, but I didn't really mean it. And so I'm just joking. So, it doesn't really hold any water. Now, contrary to the old saying, promises are made to be broken. Have you ever heard that one? Yeah, of course. So Jewish tradition teaches us no, the opposite, right? We can't take our words so lightly. And what's at issue is really the power of our words. Really, that's the import of the verse. Look at the name our tradition gives to the 10 Commandments. It's actually not mitzvot, the 10 mitzvot. It's actually aseret hadibrot, which are the 10 words. Right? That's what we see depicted, the alphabet, the 10 words depicted on our ark, right? The 10 words. Think about, how did God create the world? Through words, right? Let it be, right? Let there be light, or whatever it is, that creation, each day of creation. And in Hebrew, they're called asara ma'amarot, the 10 sayings. And it was with the power of the word that the world was created. So in Jewish tradition, every word or promise that we might leave by the wayside, then if we did that, what value would they really have? And if we damage our credibility in relationship to the others around us and our sense of integrity, we can do that very easily by simply throwing out the words that we have said and by saying nothing. I didn't really mean anything by them. Well, the rabbis of the Talmud, of course, come to look at this text, and as always, in their infinite wisdom, they understood how important the words are. That's the message from the Torah itself, but actually understood real life, how difficult it is to uphold the words we say. So instead of just leaving it and saying, this or that, or I don't really mean it, they don't really count, the rabbis developed actually a process for the case if one cannot keep a vow that they've made. And what they were to do was come to a community leader, a teacher, a rabbi, in their time, of course. Earlier on, it would have been a priest, right? And explore the feelings and the motives. So process it. Let's process it. Let's rethink it. Let's refeel it and see what it's really all about. And then what's searched for is something called a petach hata'ara, a door for regret. In other words, a sense that we've looked at what we've said with great seriousness, we've taken it seriously, and with the help of our community, right, of someone else in our community, we've given words the respect they deserve. So instead of just throwing them out, we go through a process of really evaluating them in context with someone else. So it's not just us. And in the end, the person would come before a Beit Din, a Jewish court, and everybody together would perform this hatarat nidarim, this annulment of the vow. Now, think about this whole long process. That's a long process. And it really makes us think about what we say and how important it is. By the way, there'll be a talk at some point, I think, on the high holidays. What do we do on Kol Nidre every year? We stand before the open ark, right before the Torahs, and how many times do we recite Kol Nidre? 3 times. We recite verses that, in essence, annul the vows that we have said, the words that we have said. We see it enacted every time we observe our holiday of Yom Kippur. Every Kol Nidre. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. The rabbis of the Talmud understood the message of the Torah that we find this Shabbat to mean that words can't be taken lightly. Don't take it literally, maybe, because we do have a way to understand our words. But even if situations change and avenues of release are available, we still need to take those words as seriously as possible. And that's our challenge as human beings, to think about what we say, to think about the promises we make, the vows we utter, and certainly in our climate of social media, of words being thrown around in various ways and forms, it's even more important that we assess what we say carefully, as if pledges were still unbreakable. And by doing so, we uphold not only the power of the words, but certainly the power of God's words as well. So think about that as we go into the Shabbat this week, as we take a break from maybe the words that are constantly surrounding us in the world around us. Think about the words that we find in the Torah and how they apply to our lives. And the next time someone says, you go, oh, yes, I promise, think about what you're promising about. Think about how seriously you're taking yourself and others are taking you, and know that your words do have indeed power. We'll talk more about that, I have no doubt, on Yom Kippur in a few months. But for now, give it some thought this weekend on this Shabbat of Matot Maseh. With that, we're going to go into the evening service. And again, if you want to know about the power of words, not in the context of vows, but in the context of prayer, words, in essence, allow us to change our environment. So with words, with light, with acts, right, we welcome in Shabbat. One of those things that we do is welcome in Shabbat with the power of words. Like we will do on page 39a as we welcome in the new evening, this new Shabbat together with Baruch Hu. So if you're able to rise, I would ask you again to do that as we join together 39a. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. You may be seated. We read together in the English as we talk about the words of creation, page 39a at the bottom. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzevaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. Umavir yom umehevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai Tzevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'arir v'aravim. We join together, page 40. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amchavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shachvenu u'v'kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki heim chayenu v'yorech yameinu, v'yorech yameinu, uvahem nehege yomam v'layla, yomam v'layla. V'yahavadcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Page 41. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'yavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha u'lechtecha v'derech u'v'shochbecha u'kumecha u'shartam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu l'totafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. We join together on the English on 41. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all that is yours. These words which I command you this day shall be taken to heart. Teach them again and again to your children. Speak of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. We turn over to page 44, Umalchuto Baratzon, leading up to Michamocha. Umalchuto Baratzon kiblu alehem, Moshe u'Miriam u'vnei Yisrael lechanu shira, v'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam, Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nohara tehila dosefele, Malchutecha ra'uvanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe, ze'eli anu v'yamru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'ne'emar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, uge'alo miad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Gal Yisrael. We join together page 45 in the English on the left side, our Hashkivenu, our prayer for peace, at the top. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'porei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim. We turn to page 46 as we rise and join together in Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. והני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We continue with Chatzi Kaddish, middle of 46. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, v'yamad yivrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, ובזמן קריב ימהרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולם מעלמיה יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה, מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן ביעלמה, וימהרו, amen. You'll find the silent Amidah this evening beginning on page 47, continues through page 52. We add the paragraph on page 50 for Rosh Chodesh, as it is Rosh Chodesh. We are inviting in the new month of Av. Page 50 again in the middle, we add to the words on our page. When you're through, you're welcome to be seated. We continue over on page 54, Kaddish Shalem. Yitkara v'yikra shemei rabba v'yalma divrach yirutev yamlich malchutev v'chayechonu v'mechonu v'chayedechol be'Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kari v'imeru amen yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olam me'olmaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam yiraseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei kodesha b'richu le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechmata Da'amiran b'yalma v'imeru, amen. Titkal bal tzlotan uva uton dechol Yisrael kol dam avuhoni v'shemaya v'imeru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim alani v'yal kol Yisrael v'imeru, amen. Ohoseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Imru, amen. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, Yahaseh shalom, Yahaseh shalom, shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imeru, amen. We turn back in our Siddur towards the back on page 173. There you will find our Misha Berach, our prayer for healing. And again, this is always a prayer that is not just about physical healing, but spiritual, emotional healing for the world for sure. And so I will read the names of those we have here on our list. And you're welcome to add names as we go around the room after that, and certainly to think about the healing that is needed in the world around us as well. So this evening we keep in our thoughts Shulamit bat Gittel, Yisraela bat Sipora, Devorah bat Avraham Basara, Danielle Rice, Gittel Glasser, Lynn Alexander, Marjorie Morstein, Barbara Feingold, Harriet Siegel, Nadine Hyman, Irene Friedman, Gary Kramer, Francis Haber, Suzanne Gott, Joan Klepp, Estelle Rice, Susan Aller, Megan Contigno, Natalie Kogan, Bernie Rowe, Esther Wiener, Joseph Jalbert, Hannah Lipman, Peter Jacobson, Elizabeth Alfieri, Jim Hoffman, and Joel Lowenstern. All those we have added. The others? Keep them in our thoughts as we join together on page 173, the far left side of the page in the small print. Mi shebeirach avoteinu mikor haberacha leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu Mekor habaracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Refuah shlema to all in need. We turn back in our Siddur to page 56, where you will find Aleinu. Again, if you're able to, I ask for you to rise. Page 56. Ben, will you do us a favor? Ben, do you mind helping out? I bet you've been doing that, haven't you? Have you been helping out? My guys will be here next week to help you out. If you'll help. Daniel, you want to help? Thank you. Appreciate it. So we pull the string, if you can find it. Thank you so much. They're heavy doors. We need some muscle. As we join together. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanik goye haratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adam ha shelo sam chelkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim Alifnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu notei shamayim v'yoser haaretz U'moshav yikaro b'shamayim imal U'shchinatu zo Begov hei meromim Hu Eloheinu Einod Emet Malkeinu Efes Ulato Kakatu B'Torato V'yadata hayom V'hashevota El levavecha Ki Adonai Hu HaElohim B'Shamayim Mima'al V'yaretz mitachat einod Ki hamalchut shelcha hi u'lemeatim loch bechavod kakatuv b'toratecha Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol ha'aretz v'yom hahu yiheh Adonai echad U'shemo echad U'shemo echad. You may be seated. Yashkoach, thank you very much. Y'all realize you were like coordinated as the honor guard there? You both were wearing gray. And are both wearing big kippot. Right? That was kind of cool. That worked out very well. Huh? That worked out very well. No. Young men. Come on. Page 58. I know Ben's been here for a few weeks, but I know you know what to do. So I wanted to make sure we got a little partnership and just knowing when you helped out. You told him what to do. So that's good. When we got it. We turn over to page 58. There you will find Kaddish Tome, our Mourner's Kaddish. As we recite Mourner's Kaddish this evening, we keep in our thoughts those whose Yortzites occur beginning today and in the week that is coming, including Clara Jenkins, Ida Fenves, Greta Rickoff, Harold Leopad, Arnold Bryn, Francis Vidal, George Hughes, Samuel Goodhoff, Rose Freelich, Marion Bookbinder, Morris Chaplin, Edwin Alexander, Bella Weinstock, and Cecilia Weiss. Those reciting Mourner's Kaddish. Again, you'll find it over on page 58. You're welcome to rise and join with me. Yit gadal v'yit kadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala ubizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam alomei olmaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal, Shemei Dekudasha Brichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu, v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May be seated if anyone's standing. My Bema buddy is none other than Erica Zaglin tonight. Yay, Sisterhood President. We have our men's club presidents, plural here. It's you guys are making a great showing. And member of the board, of course.
Yes.
So here it is.
All right. Let's see, where are the sponsors?
There aren't any today.
Oh,
we are. It's us.
There's no kitchen.
Well, yeah, there's no
There's-
kitchen. There is
right.
a brief, a nice little kiddish, right?
Okay, all right.
Cookies and fruit.
Announcements and updates. Don't forget to register for religious school. Links to the forms can be found in the weekly newsletter. The kitchen will be closed for renovations through August. We will continue to have a small oneg on Friday nights and refreshments on Saturday, along with doing kiddush and motzi. Join Rabbi Cohn on Sunday, August 3rd from 10 a.m. to 11:15 as we observe the solemn holiday of Tisha B'Av with a special adult learning session on the Book of Lamentations, Echa. Those who have been participating in the whole Megillah class on Sundays this past year are encouraged to attend. High Holy Day volunteers are needed for door greeters and door screeners. Please contact Men's Club to volunteer or for additional questions. Yom Kippur Break the Fast sponsors are needed to assure that everyone, including local Jewish college and governor's school students, can join us after attending the final Ne'ilah service free of charge. We are asking for sponsors to help fund the costs. Please consider contributing. What am I doing here? Men's Club needs your help to fund the sukkah. They will be purchasing kosher bamboo mats to create a new roof for the CBI sukkah. Donations are needed and greatly appreciated. Please contact Ed Miller or Steve Arkin with any additional questions. The office will be closed on Tuesday, August 5th. Save the dates. Save the date for our Welcome Back Shabbat and Shabbat dinner that will take place on August 22nd. More details will be available soon. Friday night, August 29th, is Baseball and Brews at CBI. Former Greenville Drive MLB and Team Israel player Ryan Lavarnway, I think so, will share his story. Copies of his children's book will be available for purchase. Kabbalat Shabbat service with baseball trivia will follow at 6 p.m. An amazing barbecue dinner with all the fixins will conclude the evening. Reservations are only required for dinner. Dinner is $10 per person, under 5 is free, and a family cap of $30. Weekly reminders. Intermediate Hebrew with Fred Leffert meets on Sundays at 11 a.m. Tuesday Torah study class with Fred Leffert meets at 5:30 p.m. via Zoom. Please see the CBI website newsletter or bulletin for more information on all of these programs. Birthdays, 7/31, Carmen Newman, 7/31, Aini Smith, and 8/1, Amy Collin.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
Got it. You got it. See, it would be helpful. It's the dark light here. I can't see the black on my. All right, and I promise. You know what, Steve? I'm not going to sing because I know you don't want me to. But happy birthday! You had a birthday earlier this week, right? Oh, last week, the end of last week. I know it was the yes. Jeffrey behind you had a birthday the day before you, but we weren't here to celebrate together. Well, Allison's not, I missed Allison. I know she's often here on Friday nights. And Innie's usually here. I think she's gearing up for Camp Vermont with her kids. There's a Yofi camp coming up for a small day camp. So if you know of somebody who has a birthday, please make sure you wish them all the best. And we have our anniversaries as well that we've celebrated this week. And we'll move forward into the month of August very soon. But happy birthday to those July birthdays that we didn't have a chance to acknowledge. Did I miss anybody? Good, okay. So with that, we're going to conclude with a little bim bom Shabbat Shalom as we head into a little bit of a dusty social hall. It's okay. Scooter was here cleaning last night. But we'll have a little nosh and a Kiddush and Motzi certainly together. So please join with me. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam bim bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, hey, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Thank you for being here, celebrating Shabbat with us. Thank you, David and Daniel, for getting us going. This, at 5:30, they were in here setting things up, making sure the candles were where they needed to be, and everything was open and lights were on. And as always, Harold doing our security in the back, and all of you for being here. Ben, thanks also, and then Daniel for helping out with the ark, and to our triumvirate of candle lighters this evening. Good team, go team. All right, let's head in the back if you'd like. I think there is indeed a challah back there. Don't miss a Barry Zander challah.